Ah!
Teams rise and fall. Drivers come and go. But
This is very nostalgic. I love this intro.
competing in arenas that have stood the test of time, where glory and failure are separated by fractions, where victories are rescued from the jaws of defeat. This is where history is made. This is Formula One.
This is Formula One. You bet it is. I remember like reacting to this when it first came out, 2013. This was the year I blew up on YouTube. My channel doubled in subs in a month. My first like 1 million view video, career mode was absolutely popping up. The league racing scene on this was amazing. Classic cars came in for the first time. Some say this is still the greatest F1 game that Codemasters ever made, and I can see why. For its time, it was very groundbreaking, and I realize that the music is just like spurring me on to be even more excited, but I can't help it. This was the last of the greats. This was the last good game of the old generation before it all went a little bit downhill. But this is F1 2013.
Welcome to Formula One 2013.
Nice Sauber there. Okay, and we have like all these accounts that I had back in the day, because this was the first game that I also modded as well on PC. So I did like an F1 YouTuber championship, like a championship or a career mode full of YouTubers on this. I did 2014 season mods. I did lots of stuff. I don't mod for the games anymore, which is a concern. I can't press on any of these, otherwise it'll kind of delete my account. I think I can go with online because that is what is the baseline. Oh, but here we are in the menus. This is kind of a slight tweak to what they did with F1 2012. I personally don't like the menus here. I feel like they did it much better in 2012. This is kind of like a laboratory, or it's supposed to be an F1 factory with a wind tunnel in the background, but it kind of looks a little bit more run down, like it's not being funded as well or something compared to 2012. But hey ho, we've got lots of things. Let's click into classics.
This is F1 2013.
Oh.
In this mode, you'll have the opportunity to race classic Formula One cars from different eras in a number of different game modes.
Oh man, this is all so nostalgic. Murray Walker was in the game. That's so special. That is really, really special. Sometimes you forget about these little nuances. But yeah, the classic side of the game arguably looks better. It looks a lot better than the modern version side of the game. The whole garage setup, it all just looks very how it was back in the day. Out the back of a garage. Toolboxes everywhere, bits of exhaust hanging out everywhere. It's just, yeah. And then the music. You guys will probably know the music quite well because I use these still like most days in my videos. It's so nostalgic. But yeah, okay. I managed to set up my wheel. One thing as well, which I forgot to mention, is I'm going full Lewis Hamilton mode in today's video. This was the year that Lewis switched to Mercedes, which was a massive point in his career, and also Formula One, the last year of the V8s. So we will enjoy this special time in Formula One, and we'll enjoy this special game. I must complete day 1 of the young driver test. Oh goodness, I completed it in 2012. I did it a year ago. I'm not a young driver anymore. Come on, I'm getting gray hairs here. Doing all these young driver tests, making me feel old. Right, day 1 here. Oh, McLaren. That's what I want to see. I always wanted to do a career mode with McLaren, with the Vodafone era. I don't believe I ever did that. I did co-op with Arav this year in this car. But anyway, let's get this bull crap out of the way. Oh, I had to brake there.
Don't brake yourself there. Try braking earlier and harder.
Last game it was hitting poles and passing the test. This time I don't even realize I have to stop. I'd say that was scripted, but it really wasn't. That's embarrassing. I'm just going through all these tests, and I'm just realizing, like, do I even want to do career mode? Because I feel like the career mode experience was worse. It got worse year on year from about 2011, well, like 2012 onwards. So I feel like there's probably no point delving into that. It's basically the same thing of what we've had before, maybe even a little bit less. But we've got Grand Prix. Apparently it remembers that the last Grand Prix that I did 6 years ago. What even is that? So we were racing around Coda, probably practicing for maybe an Aussie League race. I certainly didn't do AOR back in the day. Alright, let's go with Vodafone McLaren Mercedes. This is the last time we'll be able to do this. Sergio Perez! I remember you. I remember you at McLaren. You know what I meant. Alright, here we are at the Korean Grand Prix weekend. You guys will not believe the amount of technical difficulties I have had in getting to this point. Camera issues. I think I've had an issue with everything. Microphone, wheel, audio, literally everything at this point. I'm just glad to be here. Hello, you can now see me. I'm now like dressed in full Lewis Hamilton attire because, well, this was the year he went to Mercedes, so we're in full Mercedes fanboy mode, even though I'm not a fanboy. But anyway, let's take a quick look at the setup. I should actually put my headset on. I think Jeff's talking to me, but we don't really want to talk to him. Honestly, I don't really remember much in terms of setups from this particular game, and that's because I never really played it from a competitive standpoint. This is all a, you know, content-based game. I just basically did career mode, and that was it. So I kind of like lost my edge a little bit this year. And then it got worse and worse and worse until I finally picked up league racing again in F1 2016, where I started to become somewhat competent at the games again. But I'm just going to guess the setups are the same as what they were in F1 2012. So let's just go with that. Sweet. I'm praying. I don't know if my wheel, it probably won't work when we get out there, but I hope it does. Because I'd love to showcase some wheel gameplay on these older F1 games for a change. I'm praying. Hopefully you guys are too. Flying lap. Hallelujah. We have something to work with. The wheel actually works. And bear in mind the wheel is not compatible. That's why I've been having so many issues. But it works. That's the main thing. We've got Jean-Eric Verne to slipstream as we start this lap. The very first lap on F1 2013 in many, many years. And we're going around the Korean Grand Prix circuit as well. Let's do this. For some reason there's no DRS. Oh, there it is. It only kicks in most of the way down the straight. Verne is going defensive into turn 2. And we can say adios to our Veloce boss. The gear shifts sound very pronounced, don't they? Like they're very forceful. Like they have a lot of presence. You definitely can't miss a gear shift because it's so loud. Thank you, teammate, boss, dude. I guess he'll not be happy with me. Probably be fine. Camera's gone. What can I say? I don't have a tripod. I spent all my money on an R8, so that's priorities. We're 5/10 down as we go through the middle sector. This bit is really twisty, and if you don't get the flow of it right, or whatever, you just don't agree with it, and this can be a very frustrating track. But I tell you, when you can get in the groove around here, it actually reminds me a lot of Monaco in the 3rd sector, where if you just get it right, it just feels so darn nice and satisfying. That puts us in P2, 9/10 away from Massa. I'll make that P4 as it's bloody happy hour here at the start of the session. I am going to retire on that because, well, I want to have a good balance. I know I'm not in a overly fast car, but I'm not in a slow car either, but the AI are pretty darn slow themselves. And that might sound pretty confusing, but I want to give myself a bit of a challenge in this race, so we're going to skip ahead now to the end of the session.
You've qualified 12th, a lot lower than we expected you'd be.
It's not a lot lower, it's about slightly below average. But regardless, teammate is in P8. Looks like the McLaren isn't a million miles off. This was the start of the decline for McLaren, I think. But yeah, with the easy AI, I say easy, we're on the hardest difficulty, but I still reckon we could overcome the AI in this race and have a good time of things. So, let's see what we can do from the mid-pack. That's it, Chief. Buckle me in. Put my wheel in. Wipe my bum too. Anything else? No. Okay. Race strategy. Is there a race strategy? Is there a race strategy? What's the deal for the race? Oh, it's 5 laps. F1 2012, they had pit strategy. They had a fuel strategy. I just remembered it's 5 laps. Just go to the race, man.
Standing by.
Oh, I'm an idiot. Hey, Gilly, how you doing? Fernando Alonso on pole. This is the last year that Fernando won a race as well. Very nostalgic for Fernando fans. But no pre-race message from the engineer. Let's go to this race for the very last time. The Korean Grand Prix. It is underway here in F1 2013. Use a little bit of curves off the start. This was also the start of a little series called Sprint Mode Championship, which then went on to be YouTuber Championship. So a lot of nostalgic times for me back in the day. And here we are, Sergio Perez moving around like a fish in the sea. Get past him. I think we just kind of squeezed someone there. We got the inside of the 2 Mercedes. Casual as you like. In a McLaren Mercedes. This was the year where, in 2012, Mercedes were like, they were there or thereabouts. But like literally in 2013, Mercedes and McLaren literally like switched positions in the F1 paddock. Like you had Lewis Hamilton going from McLaren to Mercedes. You had McLaren going from arguably best car to midfield. Then you had Mercedes from 2012 heading into 2013 going from a midfield car, top of the midfield, to arguably the best car in 2013. If you look at the results, you'd probably argue that that's not the case, but in the early stages of 2013, the Mercedes was the fastest car. It was just horrible on its tyres, I remember. So, yeah, it was basically just role reversal for those two teams back in the day, which was, I found super interesting. And then since then, McLaren just hasn't been even a shadow of its former self. They're starting to make a rise back to form now, but it's been 6 years, guys. How are we looking on fuel? I need to bring up my indicator. We're optimal on fuel, so I can't afford to go all gung-ho with that. Anyway, we're now on the podium. As we get up the inside of Vettel. It's like I've never left this racetrack. I know all the braking points, I know the turning points. I've not really made any major mistakes. It's all been pretty as you were. It's like riding a bike. You never forget how to ride a bike, do you? Good stuff. You really throw the car in at high speed. I will say, I haven't even talked about the handling yet, but the handling... Oh, damn it. Up until this point, this was by far the best handling Formula 1 game that Codemasters have made. And arguably, for a lot of years, people still believe that 2013 is the best. And even still now, people still reckon that 2013 is the best. But I'd say 2019, 2018, well, ever since 2017... the games did get a lot better. chuck it in there. Let's see if we can take out Mark Webber!
Okay, back to the pit.
Oh, oh dear. Oh my goodness, we've definitely killed someone here. I don't know who. I think it was Webber. I'm going to do one last little party trick before I leave this circuit. We're going to do the flick spin. What's that a penalty for? Alright, whatever. You can actually flick spin the car up back in the day, and I'm going to show you how. Whee! I could do like a full 360 on demand, but not anymore. Alright, chaps. Oh my goodness, that is blinding. I need some sunglasses. Here we are for the German Grand Prix. This is around the Nürburgring circuit. Fernando Alonso's Ferrari. Let's get this race underway. Let's see how far up the order we can get in a 5-lap race. I'm about to prove just how bad the AI are. Even just by being competitive, despite not playing the game for years, we are so much more competitive than what we realistically should be. I can't believe that like we made a career mode out of this. Like, it's just embarrassing how slow the fastest AI are on these classic F1 games. But anyway, we've already found our way up into P12. Whilst the first challenges are just non-existent. There's just not even a challenge, it's just a normal race. Here we go up the inside. We're in the top 10, and we've just exited the first sector. Ricardo is up next. Can we get up the inside here? Big boy dive bomb, you bet we can. Bit of a squeeze, but we're fine. One thing to watch out for on this game is bollards. Sometimes if they're just like cracked and it's like half floating in the air, do not touch it. Otherwise, your car will explode essentially.
I'm so done!
Heavy. Are you okay?
Something worth watching out for as we try to overtake the car that we were just in, the 2013 McLaren. Bit of slipstream, curves, and the start finish straight, and we are through now for P8. This is a nice little circuit. I don't know why they took it off the calendar. One year it was scheduled to be on, but then they just never went ahead with it. I honestly can't remember why they took it off. If you guys can let me know, that'd be much appreciated. I have a feeling it's probably money related. They couldn't afford to host the Grand Prix anymore, maybe. It tends to be how these things go, really, but it's a shame. I see so many old F1 circuits go. You see these new circuits come in that kind of provide dull racing and need to go, but they're still there on the calendar year after year. I still think we should go back to Istanbul in Turkey. It was a marvelous circuit. Fingers crossed it'll come back one day as we get a massive amount of drive up against Grosjean. That was amazing how much of a run we got out of the Schumacher S there. P7. We got my teammate stuck in behind a couple of Lotus cars as we see a move up the inside. Oh, that hill gives me some memories as well. You can actually fly over that hill and overtake about 5 cars. Sometimes you might get away with it, like illegal overtake warnings weren't a thing sometimes. I remember doing it in into the barrier lobby and it was hilarious. Or if you knocked off your front wing, for example. Maybe I should just show you guys instead of telling you about it. I'll show you after this race. It's pretty hilarious. So stay tuned to the end for that. I'm not faring too bad here, to be honest. It feels pretty nice, does the old handling model. It's just
We've got to find a way past. We're being held up.
oh, it's just pretty light. On the old steering and the weight of the car, just feels like there's not much going on. Force feedback wise. Probably the main difference I could say. Otherwise, it handles like a pretty good game. Thanks, Jeff. Let's cut this. Okay, that's a warning. So they improved on their track limits. Purple to that sector as well. Can we go for a big boy dive bomb? Oh, yes we can on Mark Webber. We're through now for P4. I've got to be careful with my fuel as well. That's probably dangerously close to running out as well. But I've got to go for it. I need this position. I've got to get Fernando back on the podium. Last lap of the Grand Prix. On the power nice and early. Quite easy to get wheel spin. There's not much feeling with the car with the force feedback, so it's quite easy to overstep the marks. We are out of fuel, so we need to save a little bit while also making lap time. That's the most difficult thing of all, isn't it? We got DRS. They're going to use up all of the curves we've got left. Is Vettel going to have a go at the Mercedes heading into the chicane? That could give me an opening as we dive up the inside. We've taken out Rosberg partially. That's a penalty. We're going to go through for P2 anyway. We've already got the pen.
Looks like the stewards have awarded you a time.
Up the inside. Well, not really up the inside, but just going defensive into the last corner. It's going to be P2 on track, but with the 10-second penalty, it's going to chuck us way down. P11. Oh my goodness.
Nice drive, just outside the points.
And the engineer just says that nonchalantly, as if we calmly elevated our way up to P10, not factoring in that we actually lost P2 or P3 as we cross the line. But F1 2013, it's a fun game. Let's go back. I want to do the jump. We can't come to Nürburgring and not do the jump. Alright, here we go. We're going to set ourselves up nicely to get a big train of cars here. Stutzel might actually ruin this as I need to swerve to the left now. Goodbye. Goodbye, everybody. I got away with that, I think. As my camera is gone. All sense of physics is gone. It's just an absolute nightmare. Let's, can we roll that back? I wanna see this again. So, how do I change camera angles? There we go. Stutzel, we put him in the polystyrene stuff over there, over on the grass, and then here we go. This is the big launch. This is the #1 reason why I miss Nürburgring in F1 2013. Oh my goodness, narrowly missing our teammate. Let's have a look. I can't get a good look at this. It won't let me. Okay, whatever. Oh my goodness. And we managed to land it and stick it and carry on as if nothing had even happened. Which is absolutely outrageous. And you know what's even crazier? Like, I did this move in an online video, overtook about 5 cars, and didn't get a penalty for it. I got nothing. And it was completely legal. Codemasters, bring back classic tracks. Bring back the mound. Bring back the hill. We need it. That's so close. Okay, so that's party trick #1 out the window. Now I need to do the other one. And it involves the hill again. But you kind of require no front wing. And the reason is that having downforce, it's in the name, isn't it? It gives you downward pressure to push the car into the ground. When you don't have a front wing, there is no force that is pushing the front end of the car into the ground. And so what happens is when this F1 car is going to get airborne, there will be nothing pushing it down. And so you're going to have like a Mark Webber Le Mans style flipping through the air. At least that's the hope. So let's give this a go. In an ideal world, I would knock off the rear wing as well, but that is awfully difficult to coordinate. So we're just gonna go with this and just hope that all hell breaks loose here. Here we go, one last time. Oh,
That move was illegal. Return to position.
that was very anticlimactic. Whoa! Okay, he just exploded on me.
Your front wing is gone. Back to the pits. Back to the pits.
Sorry, Jev. Okay, I think the problem was my front wing wasn't fully knocked off last time. Like we definitely don't have the main plane on now. So this should work this time, hopefully. Fingers crossed. Come on, Cody's, deliver me some wonderful physics. There we go. That is the most broken thing you can ever do in an F1 game. Oh, just, that's mad. Oh, that never gets old. Let's change the camera angle. It looks pretty bad from this point of view. Oh my god, that's so violent. It's, it had to be done. Absolutely had to be done. Thank you guys so much for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe to the channel if you're new to see plenty more racing game content. I'm going to do a couple more videos on older F1 games. Predominantly F1 2011 and 2012. If you really want to see more of 2013, I think it might be in the form of a scenario mode. So if you want to see it, it'll happen. But I'll thank you so much for watching. Not looking forward to F1 2014, predictably. But we will cross that bridge when we get there. Thank you so much for watching. And for the final time, adios, Fernando.
You've taken a bit of damage to your diffuser. Do your best to drive around the problem.
Diffuser? Lads, have we just discovered a new level of damage in the Formula 1 game? I was just about to stop the recording and then Jeff tells me that we've got some newfound damage. Damage, do you have, Ben? Yes. Diffuser damage. Bloody hell. Bring it back, Codemasters.